business can do for us. And I sit here as proof and as a testimony as that this business can free you. And it has literally freed me in a way that I am so beyond blessed. And at this point, it couldn't have come at a more better time. I literally have 7 days left of work.
That's amazing.
And I am done. That's
so exciting.
13 years, guys. 13 years I've been teaching.
Let me introduce her because I feel like I haven't done a proper introduction. So for you guys, welcome. This is our team call for you guys that are tuning in. We're talking to Veronica Cavalcante, who happens to be a really close friend of mine. Funny story, we met through Beachbody. Her husband is Brazilian. And so I hosted a Brazilian Super Saturday here once, and I invited him, and so she came. And she's going to share a little bit of that story with you guys. But I thought it was so important for her to come and talk to us because I love what Veronica represents as a coach. She is real. She's raw. If you guys follow her, she doesn't try to make anything perfect. She's just who she is. She owns her story, and she owns what this business has done for her. And I think the most beautiful thing that I love the most about her is her faith and how she uses her faith with the business. Like, she doesn't try to separate it. She owns it. And then the other thing is that she could very easily fall into the comparison trap because she is her sister is what is she, a 10-star diamond now? I don't even know what she is. I know she's been a Beachbody coach for a really long time, and it took Veronica a lot of invites and a lot of persuasion to finally have that turning point to become a coach. And I remember when she came to that Super Saturday at my house, was that 2 years ago? No, I don't remember. Was it 3 years? She came as an Emerald coach. And this is the part of the story that I'm going to let her share, but she ended that year very differently. So I didn't give all your background and everything, but I'll let you just share that with them because I think your story is so powerful and such a good representation of who we are as coaches. So I'll let you take it away.
All right. So first of all, I mean, guys, thank you for having me. It's about damn time. No, I'm just kidding. Exactly. Bianca has been has played such an important role when it's come to my business because she kind of gave me. I'll never forget when I went to her house. It was the first time I had strayed away from our team. And so I knew Beachbody and I knew my sister's team, and that was all I knew. And it was so great to have a different perspective and a refresher and just have somebody that was not a part of our team. And so Bianca, I remember that day, she just gave me permission to just be on my own pace and do me. And I'm like forever grateful for that because it was kind of like the day that I realized I needed to stop comparing my chapter 5 to my sister's chapter 20 because I was having a really hard struggle because when you jump into this business, catching that momentum, it's kind of hard. It's really hard actually to finally get that momentum going. And so here I was struggling to even make SC6, and my sister was like and she didn't do it obviously in a bragging manner. She did it in a motivating manner, but in my immature mindset as a new coach, I would get upset. And so I was here like, I'm struggling with SC4, right? And so the way I would speak was very negative, and I was always like, this is so hard. I'm struggling at SC4. Like everybody I talk to is a no. And so I noticed that I was a very negative Nancy kind of person, starting off. And then my sister was like, I just locked in SC20, SC30. I'm like, go fly a kite with your damn SC30, and so I was very like that. I was very like, it was almost kind of like a bitter. And I talk about it very openly because I think a lot of us can relate to that. And I think that I know for a fact that, being on a lot of calls, that the more I talk about this, the more, people are like, instead of me looking at somebody else's success as inspiration and as a roadblock and as a guidance, we almost look at it as a self-sabotaging way to go ahead and automatically, compare. And we do that comparison game. And so if there's something I want you guys to walk away with today is stop comparing. Okay. I understand that there might be people that come into this business, after you and may have, rank advanced, a little bit higher than you, but that doesn't define that you're not successful. And it just doesn't define that you're not on the right path. And I know for a fact that things weren't happening to me, they were happening for me. And so when I was finally able to realize, okay, I've been working at this business for a year and I have gone absolutely nowhere, because that my first year I started off, um, became a diamond coach fairly quick, but my team completely crumbled about, I don't know, 5, 6, 7, 8 times. I crumbled, and it got so bad that I crumbled down to like my husband and my best friend were the only ones in my team. And so I remember thinking, okay, well, I keep building this, it keeps crumbling. This must not be for me. And I remember having like that, time the first year that I was working. But it wasn't until I was able to change the way I was thinking, change the way I was seeing things, change the way I was letting other people impact me, change the way at the end of the day, it was me. It was an issue I had with me. It wasn't Beachbody's fault. It wasn't my sister's fault. My sister's success was not instead of it, motivating me, it was I was getting upset about it, and that was my problem. That was not hers, right? It wasn't anything she was doing. And for the longest time, I swore Carl was like, had it out for my team, and it was Carl's fault. It was everybody's fault, but it was not my fault. And I call that the immature coach. And I'll never forget that I was at Bianca's house, and she was the first person that mind you, like, she was a stranger to me, but she was just so warming and so like open, and she was just like, yeah, girl, like, tell me what's going on. And I remember just leaving her house going, oh my God, this girl's gonna think I'm like the most negative person in the world, because all I did to her was bring her complaints. I didn't bring her any solutions. I didn't bring her any positive, and I was almost like a cancer to the team. I kind of see it that way, because when you start spreading negative mindsets, it's not fair for your upline to have to hear that. It's not fair for other teammates to have to hear that. You've got to figure out how you can contribute to your team. How can you positively contribute to your team? And let's not forget, that way I was feeling was what I was portraying to my team. Who the heck would want to follow that? Like, who the heck would want to, ride and die next to somebody that's not sure yet? That's just so negative and so like wondering, is this really for me? Like, still contemplating whether this is the right step or not. Like, nobody's going to join that. And I think that we unintentionally portray that. And I know for a good year, I was portraying that. So I was in her kitchen, and I was, telling her, all my faults and everything that was going wrong, and how this was just not working. And I was already an Emerald coach again, and my team had, crumbled again for like the 5th, 6th time. And she was just like, why are you so focused? Because I remember comparing my sister a lot. And she was just like, why are you so focused on your sister? Like, this is not Monica journey. This is your journey. Like, just do you. And she had this really big faith. And at the time, I was a fairly new Christian. And so in my teaching world, I was taught that my faith is my faith, my teaching is my teaching. I'm not allowed to bring my faith into my classroom, right? It's a public school. It's a public thing. I can't, talk about my faith. So I was really good at putting those things two separately. And I remember the way she spoke and the way she was and her mannerisms. I was like, it kind of hit me. And I was like, I can bring my faith into my team, right? I can do them both together. Like, this is my team. This is my business. I can do this business however I want. And so I kind of got the permission for that. So a lot of you guys, I just want you guys to know that, Bianca's amazing. You guys are part of an amazing organization. And then through Bianca, I met Kristen, and she's like my other half. Like, we're both like crazy amazing, super fun. And so because of this business, because of this opportunity, I was able to meet amazing women. And amazing leaders and girls that, don't even live in our city or state or whatnot. And that's a true blessing, like, we are surrounded by positive, impactful people. So again, I want you guys to walk away today, and I want to give you guys the permission, be yourself. If a lot of you guys don't know, my sister and I, we are polar opposites. She's very pink. She's very girly girl. She's very like, into her looks. And I'm like a tomboy, and I was super into like Star Wars. I mean, everybody makes fun of me. I'm like super, like all about like black and like rock music. And so we are just completely polar opposites when it comes to this business. And I realized when I was trying to be like her, I was not myself. Therefore, I was not able to communicate and talk to people and connect with other people because I wasn't me. And so I want you guys to understand there's no one cookie cutter coach in this business. And my sister and I are proof of that. We are completely polar opposites, yet we are both, this year we both crossed the finish line as elite coaches. And so I want to give you guys permission to be yourself. I want to give you guys permission to think big. Like, stop dreaming mediocrity. Like, stop like cutting yourself short. Stop making your dreams and your visions like to what you think you can only work toward, like whatever your expectations of yourself are. Like dream beyond that. And I think that I remember starting the year in 2016. That was like the year that I was like, okay, that's it. I'm going to like dream big. And I made this beautiful vision board. I have it up here right now. I made this beautiful vision board, and I'm like, I'm going to go 5-star. I'm going to go elite. I'm going to do all these awesome things. And I set out to do that. And I put that vision board underneath my TV because every time I wanted to get lazy and watch shows, the vision board was right there to remind me, like, the shows are not going to get you there. Do the stuff that you need to do to get there. And so I had that vision board up in 2016. Guess what? 2016 flew. I was doing the very bare minimum. So I was only hitting SC6. I don't think I hit SC10 not once that year, but I did consistently hit SC6. And I missed every single goal on that board. I didn't hit not one. That's real. Like, that's realistic. So I remember looking at that board in 2017 and going, gosh, like, maybe this isn't that, like, that negative part of me started to creep in again, but I was able to nip it in the butt real quick. And I said, no. And I had to have like that real hardcore conversation with myself and say, Veronica, you're expecting 15-star, superstar, elite team, yet you're doing the very bare minimum. How dare you? Like, really? Like, and are you really giving it your all? I had to have like that real, like, people must think I was crazy. I had like that conversation with myself. I was battling myself in my head, and I'm going, God, like, I hit SC6 and I did everything they told me to do. Where's my, 6-figure superstar team? And then in the back of my mind was going, but were you really giving it your all? Come on, you and I know you were. You and I know what you were doing. And you and I know that you had extra time, and you and I know you could have done better. And so I was telling my sister, and I was arguing to people in the team, saying I'm doing it all and it's not showing, but yet the inside I knew better. And so I want you guys to be bold enough to reflect on yourself and ask yourself those hard questions, because it's those questions that you're going to have to admit to yourself that's going to finally push you to get out of that rut you're in. Are you doing everything that it takes? Are you doing everything it takes to get to Emerald? Are you doing everything it takes to get to Diamond? Like, are you really inviting every single day? Like, come on, can you sit here flat out, tell yourself, are you truly inviting 10 people a day? And if it's 10 people are not working, you can honestly tell me 10 people a day, then go to 20. Like, there's always a solution. Like, if the system's not broken, it's us, right? Because if that were the case, there would be these superstar coaches. And in my case, it was my sister. And so I had that going for me. I'm like, well, my sister and I both were birthed out of the same canal, right? Like, we're the same, okay? Like, we grew up with the same, tools and knowledge. And so what's the difference? There wasn't a difference. I was being lazy and I was not being truthful. And at the same time, I was not allowing time to let my work finally flourish, right? So I wasn't giving it enough time. I was being impatient, and I wanted success right away. And I wanted, what my sister had right away, and it wasn't realistic. So to give you guys an idea of how skeptical or how stubborn I can be, it took me 4 years to join my sister. 4 whole years. My sister was at it with me for 4 years. She has been coaching now for 7 years, and I have been coaching for a solid 3 years. So wait, she's 8 and I'm going on 4. Yeah. So she's been doing 8 years now, and I'm going on 4 years. That gives you guys an idea. Kristen,
can I ask a question real quick?
Sure.
Okay. So when your sister, okay, for those of you who don't know who Christina Delgado is, she's like the Mecca, and I'm correct me if I'm wrong, but this is how creepy that I know everybody's stories because they talk about it over the years. But Monica was Christina Delgado's secretary.
Correct.
At the law firm. Right? So Christina Delgado, if you don't know who she is, Bianca and I have always resonated with her. We have always resonated with this woman. We've always been drawn to this team because, hold on real quick, let me shut this door. Because she's fire, and what lawyer truly builds a successful law firm and walks away from it to do Beachbody? I mean,
she became partner, and she was only partner for a year.
And she left it. And so Bianca and I, we were 6 months into this business. We were at Summit, and I remember hearing this story, and I'm like, these chicks are crazy. They are insane. Who gives up this job that they work so hard for? I remember looking at Bianca, and I'm like, these people are nuts. They're nuts. But I remember us piling into a room to hear this woman speak, and I was like, who is she? Because she's phenomenal. And Monica was Christina's secretary, right? So
paralegal, yeah.
Right. Paralegal. See how crazy? So for me,
Monica went to school for that.
That's insane to me. So I'm like, I look at this and I look at your situation, and if it was me looking at Monica and Christina at that time in my life, I was skeptical even though I was making really good money when I came in. I caught the fire fast. So for me, I was skeptical. So do you think that there was a difference where now where you're at, you kind of watched your sister grow, right? You had to see her go through everything. So maybe you had insights as to the struggles that she was having. At what point, though, were you saying to yourself, okay, you know what? I have belief in this, and that because I have belief in myself now. At what point was it?
Okay, so it was actually a low point in my life. It's so crazy because I'm a school director and teacher. So for a long time, in my mind, my mom owns 3 schools, and so I run one of her schools. And in my mind, I was like, okay, I had no interest in even building a business because I already had my business planned out. I was going to become a school director. I was going to run. Well, I was a school director, but I was going to own one of them, and that was going to be my career, right? And that's what I was working towards. But at the time, I mean, I wasn't making great money, but I was making decent money. But my husband was the moneymaker in the house, and he lost his job. And I think that was what spiraled us out of control because we were big time savers, and we saved a lot of money, and we turned around and we used our entire savings. Guys, it was over $52,000 we used to open up a little tiny convenience store in the middle of nowhere. And we thought like this was going to like strive and this was going to be it. And we invested all of our complete savings into that. Only for him to a year later get his job back. And then that store drowned us. And that store wasn't making enough money. We were manning it ourselves because we couldn't hire people to run it. And after the store being open for 2 years, my husband and I had to walk away from the store. We let it go, and we still owed over $30,000 in debt. And so I came into this business at a very low point in my life. We were in debt like crazy. I didn't know if I could even afford a challenge. I didn't know if it would swipe, right? So I was like horrible financially. My marriage was hanging by a thread at that point. You guys don't realize how much financial burden can really crumble a marriage like this, right? So it completely crumbled us. My faith was out the window. I had like little to no faith at this point. And then insert Beachbody. My sister actually had become elite that first year. And it was that very first year that when she became elite, she invited me to this elite party. And at the time, that was speaking Chinese to me. I'm like, what the hell is I don't know what elite means, but sure, I'll go because I'm miserable and I'm poor, so I'm going to go eat food. Like at this point, like I was just like, and I'm going to go support you. And I did. And so I went, and it was that very moment when I heard success stories, people that had lost their house in the market crash, finally able to get the keys to their very own place after living with their in-laws in a room for years. Or another one, Nina, that she finally was able to get off of blood pressure medication and was no longer like considered diabetic, pre-diabetic, because of because of the tools that we had. And I just remember sitting back looking at all that and thinking to myself, one, I am such an idiot because I thought this was like a scam or this was like a pyramid scheme. And two, I realized at that very moment, this could also be my solution.
And at what point, now you said that you heard success stories and you said that it was an elite party. So what event was that she took you to?
It was her celebration for hitting elite. It was her team celebration.
So it was in Florida, or
it was here at her house. It was in her backyard. And it was
so
like
she threw a big party for this
hitting elite for the first time, and she invited the whole team. And and I wasn't a part of that team, but I was there, and so I for the first time met, quote unquote, her team, and they shared inspirational stories. Because my sister, we also gifted, like when you become a diamond, you get gifted like a necklace, like a tradition we have. And so she was gifting them those necklaces, and then they would speak and talk about like their story. And just me sitting there and listening, it was kind of like my aha moment, like, wow, this is not a scam. My sister is not a salesperson. She's really, truly helping people that want to be helped, and she has tools. And this is working for her because she was already like 3 years retired, and I still didn't want to see it when she had retired herself.
Right.
Yeah, I was still
it was probably like a big, especially with you going through all that and then to see your sister having that kind of success.
Right.
But she believed in you still, to the point that you were able to have enough vision and sight to come in and support her because she was your sister. So how important is it in your eyes and for your team? How important is it for your teams to get to events or
hands down. I'm sorry, but if you're not showing up, and I say this all the time, like, I feel like we feel that these calls are always the same thing, right? We're always hearing the same thing. His success club, the importance of success club, the importance of getting to events, the importance of blah, blah, blah. Like, I get it. And you're right. And it is very repetitive, but every single call, you will be able to take away a golden nugget. And it's those golden nuggets that will add up to molding you to the person you're going to become, and molding you to the coach you're going to become, and molding you to the leader you're going to become. So don't take these calls for granted. Don't take if you're not plugging into the national wake up call, if you're not showing up to your local Super Saturdays, like, first thing first, that's what you need to be doing. Like, hands down, you need to be doing it. You need to hear it. It doesn't matter how repetitive it is. Keep listening, and keep listening with an open heart and with an open mind, because you will eventually, certain things will sink in, and things that I heard before, I would hear it again, but because I was going through something specifically, I was now able to resonate and walk away with something tangible to deal with what I was going with. And it's because of these calls I have been able to mold into the person I am today. And and Summit is a must. Like, I'm sorry, but you cannot sit here and tell me you're business building, but you're not investing in going to Summit. Like, in my team, like, that's like a deal breaker. Like, you've got to get your butt to Summit.
So with you being in this for 2 years, you guys heard she is on a teacher's salary. In her mind, she already had her empire that she was going to go after. So this wasn't on her radar as far as a business. When she came into the business, she went to her sister's elite party, and then probably the year after that, or within the same year, how did you afford Summit? How did you get to these events with your time restrictions and your budget? What were you doing who were you talking to? What resources? How were you making it happen?
So I ranked up my credit card for the plane ticket. I bought a new coach ticket, right? But then I also became a success starter, so it was reimbursed to me. So I did not have to pay for my Summit ticket because I busted my butt the first, like I told you guys earlier, I became a diamond fairly quick. I think I became a diamond within 4 months.
Yeah.
So I did business build very quickly. And so I did have that paid for, and I roomed with like 5 different women. We like shared beds, and we like, and we just to cut the costs. That's what I did my first summit. And so
then when you went to Summit, you got the same kind of experience. You got the stories, you got the belief. And then when you got home and you were going through kind of the Summit detox, did it help you? Like what route did it?
So Summit, actually, I think the first time it somewhat paralyzed me in a way that I was so motivated and I was so fired up, and I wanted it so bad, but I didn't do anything about it. And I was like what we call a collector of information. So I knew what I needed to do, but I didn't do anything about it. So my first summit was that. Like, I think that I saw the inspirational stories, and I remember looking in the audience and looking down and going, I want to be there. Like, I want to be on that floor. And I remember that fire and wanting that really bad. And then I went to Summit again, because I went to Summit my first year, then my second summit. In 2015 was my first summit. In 2016 was my second summit. And I went to Summit as a diamond coach again. So I had not grown at all. I was super depressed at that summit because I was like, in my mind, I was comparing myself. So I was like, I'm here again, a whole year passed, and I have done absolutely nothing with this business. Right. And then so my second summit served as a reminder as to what is possible. And my fire was lit again, that I wanted to be on that floor, and I was going to do anything possible to get down there. And this time I made sure that I didn't come back and get paralyzed. And so that was when I decided enough was enough, and I just put action into behind what I wanted, right? Because we can want the world. We can want all these beautiful things, and we can look at other people and say, I want, but it needs to come with some action behind it. And so that was the year that I said, okay, and I did. And then the following year, I went to Summit as a 2-star, and then I went as an elite, and this year as an elite. So yeah.
So she went from diamond to 5-star, I think.
In 1 year.
In 1 year.
Absolutely.
So if that gives you guys any kind of inspiration, it's the same thing. And remember, she's a mom, and she is somebody who, she just told you her story. She's also a teacher. So she's, happy celebrating retiring in 7 days from teaching. But it's a lot of work to build. But as you heard her say, she already had experience with a lot of work by opening that store, by putting in the hours, by taking time away from her children. So it's already in her mind, she's got to do this work. And she had to have faith and belief that in the beginning, you're not going to see the work that you put in. It's not like an employee mindset. Like right now, I know how much I'm being paid right now, right? I know how much I'm being paid right now. When I work my business, I don't know how much I'm going to be paid unless I'm doing income producing behaviors, right? We can do all the things. We can mess around on our phone, all the things. But until we take that ownership and say, okay, I've got to put in this amount of work. This is what's going to grow me. I need to set up a plan. And then I need to find pockets of time in my schedule to make things happen, right? And that's exactly what she did. And I think that's why I've always, the first time I met her, and we were in Cancun, and she's just sitting there, and she's just like, and I was like, and then when I saw the other side of her, I said, this girl is my spirit animal. This girl is crazy. She's fun. She's having whoa. We did Bohemian Rhapsody at karaoke on the cruise ship recently, me, her, and Bianca. I mean, we had a blast. So now it's so cool, guys, to see people like her, to see people like you guys that are just starting, and to think you guys are on the verge of something great. Her and her husband, they are you would think they're teenagers. They're always all over each other. So when she said that she had rabbits, yeah, they're I'm telling you.
No,
that's why I'm
what do you mean? I would fall in love with my husband again. I didn't think that was possible. And
so you find financial freedom in your terms. You're getting better sex. She'll probably end up pregnant next year. We don't know. She went from a diamond to 5-star. She's retired from a school teacher. She looks amazing. Like the girl, I mean, when she did Transform 20, she lost a ton of, I remember following her story. If you follow her IG stories, you're going to get real because she's her, right? It's herself. So how important, Veronica, would you say it is for a coach to nail and own their story?
I think that yes, everybody here has a story. And I thought when I first started coaching, I did not have a story. In my mind, it was almost the weirdest thing. I never ever thought to share about the store. I thought I was super boring. I thought like I didn't have, a traumatic experience that like some coaches had. Like I was looking for something traumatic that I needed to have to share. And honestly, guys, one, you're writing your story as of right now. So write your story. And it is imperative that when you are sharing, you don't want to share to try to kind of like, you don't want, what's the word I'm trying to use? You don't want to please your entire audience. You want to please like one person. Like, so talk to like one person. So this day I'll wake up and I'll say, today I feel like a hot mess and I feel like laundry's everywhere. And I feel like, so today I'm going to target other moms that feel like hot messes. Right. And so I'm going to share the story that's going on right now. And I'm going to target like hot mess moms. Or I think it's really important that you guys write down, like I have written down, we did like a pinwheel kind of thing. And we were supposed to, in that pinwheel, talk about things about you, your favorite color, your favorite hobbies, things like that. And you're supposed to share kind of like breadcrumb. You don't want to vomit all the time your entire story, like breadcrumb things. Like, I love this outfit because it's yellow and yellow is my favorite color. Or you want to breadcrumb, certain things that are happening. I know for me, at least, I kind of found my story as I was going. I don't think I became a coach and knew my story right away. I felt like I had nothing to share. I felt like in the beginning, I didn't know what to do. And so that was the phase that I was copying every other coach. And so a coach would post this, I would post that. And I would just, and I think that was, the learning curve that I had in the beginning until I was able to finally, pinpoint like who I am, who I want to relate to, who I want to attract, and so find out those people, and don't think that because you don't have a crazy fun story that's it. Like, you're writing your story now. And I talk about this to my team. Like, those of you that have stuck around for a while, damn well I'm not the same coach I was the first year that I am today, right? You guys are hands down, like, you guys know. And so be okay with that. Understand that you are right now figuring out what kind of coach you're going to be. You're figuring out how to be a leader in this. You're writing your story. It is a part of it. And be okay to like fail. Some memories come up and I go, oh my God, I can't believe I shared things like that. Like, that's okay. And we're okay to do those things. And I would share the most tackiest things that now I don't think I would share, but it was okay because it was a part of me and it was a part of growing into what made me comfortable and what didn't. And so just be okay with that. But also be bold to get out there and think outside the box and do things that you normally wouldn't do. Like, I never thought in a million years I would share a transformation picture that showed my stomach, and be bold to just do it, and be bold to do those kind of things that are like, for a long time, I would not message certain people because I was like, oh my God, that person, what are they going to think about me? Be bold to not care. Like, I got into the point of my life in my coaching career that I'm so confident that if you don't join me, that's your loss. Like, at the end of the day, I don't care. And at first I did care. And so I think that you will slowly grow into that person, but just don't stop. Just don't stop growing. Don't stop showing up to these calls, personal development. Those are the things that are going to help you get out of that and find out who you are, what kind of coach you know, and leader you're going to become, because there are different leadership roles. And, you know, my sister and I think that's why our team is striving so much and growing at such a fast pace right now, because the things that she lacks, I have, and things I lack, she has. And we kind of like come together and realize her strengths are my weaknesses and my weaknesses are hers. And now we've got this, you know, really strong team. And so be okay to understand that you're not going to be able to, like, for instance, make a beautiful post like Bianca does, or write this beautiful saying like Kristen does. Like, who cares? Like, yourself, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah.
There was something I wanted to kind of touch on, and I know I invited you here because I really love your perspective on this. I know it all started from you becoming a coach, but then at some point you became an Emerald coach, and I know that you build your business and your team on showing them the importance of becoming an Emerald coach, and rank advancing to that. Like, I think Emerald is the most important rank. I know people shoot for 5-star and 10-star.
I think Emerald, and this is what I portray to my team. Emerald is something you can control, and Emerald can happen in a day. Like, if you're really serious about this business, it's on you. And I call the Emerald training Decide to Rise, because it's literally a decision. Like, it's a decision you make right now. Are you going to probably have to invest? Absolutely. Sure. I mean, hello. You're going to sit here and tell me that, you know, how dare I invest in my business? Do you not know how much it costs to actually invest in like a storefront? Or like, so when people are complaining about, you know, investing $100 here and there, I'm like, no. Like, really? Like, if you're going to complain about that, then I don't think you really grasp the big picture of what, you know, is possible here, because the little tiny investment I have made has come back 10 times over, you know, like, come on, you know? And I share a graph because I talk about spouse placement, or somebody that you have control over, like a parent or somebody. I talk about the importance of that. And I don't know if you want me to get into that. That's up to you guys. But I have a graph that shows and explains, like, it gives you a visual to really understand why spouse placement is important and how you can become an Emerald literally tonight. Like,
if you could like share that really quick with us. Sure. I mean, I think that's so important. I know when we say things, I'm in the right there with you. It's the exact same mindset. But I think when we say it, sometimes it doesn't, like when we hear it from someone else, from your perspective, because I know you're big into that. So could you share that?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll let me share my screen, because it's kind of like a slide I have, like a pretty little slide. All right. So here, like I said, I call it Decide to Rise, because at the end of the day, guys, Emerald is a decision. You can do it. You can do it. You know, and it's a decision you're making for your business, because at the end of the day, this is gonna build your business. And why? And I talk about the importance of volume. So if you're not familiar with volume, you might feel a little bit tiny lost, but just bear with me and understand that volume is your residual income. Volume is your money maker. Like, that's that in the beginning of your business, most of your income comes from commission. Give me 1 second. Oh, go tell Papa to give you medication. That's exactly what it's for. Okay, close the door, please. I forgot to give my son his steroids today. Yeah, they have him on steroids for his ears. Anyways, okay, so, yeah, it's a decision. All right, so I lost my train of thought. I'm sorry, but I'm just going to jump into the importance of it. So we do know that I'm going to skim through it very, very fast, because I don't want to take too much of your guys' time. So we know that when you become an Emerald, you unlock the world of customer leads, right? So you must be an Emerald coach, and you must hit Success Club. By doing that, Beachbody will give you customers. Like, hello, why would you not want customers? Can I tell you guys, two of my diamonds that served me this year, one served me this year as elite and one served me last year as elite, 2 of them have been from customer leads. Beachbody sent them to me. Like, it makes no sense for you not to hit this every single month. So and in order to have this, you must be an Emerald coach. So that's benefit number 1. Benefit number 2 is you unlock the world of team volume. So we have what's called 2 legs, and those legs serve as like piggy banks. And so you collect money. All right. And if you haven't seen this video, if you look it up, it's Michael Neiman, Team Volume. He does a really cute presentation with toys, and he gives you an idea of how volume works. But if you guys don't know, every single week that you are not an Emerald coach, so if you, the beauty of this is you can rank advance to Emerald, and let's just say, I don't recommend it, but let's just say you drop because, you know, you can't keeping your husband active or whatever, and you didn't recruit and you do need to drop it. At least you collect the volume. At least if you don't go inactive, you keep the volume in there and it becomes what's called carryover. All right. And I'm going to tell you the importance of that with my story. But every single week that you are not an Emerald coach, your volume goes bye-bye. And you're probably thinking, but I don't have volume. Yes, you do, because you have an upline that's working. And if you have an upline that's working, that upline is, I mean, we know here in this team, you've got coaches here that are rocking their business and they're not stopping. So most likely they have added coaches underneath you. Guess what? All of that is volume. And guess what? You're throwing it away. Potential money. And I'm going to explain this a little bit better on the importance of this. And I'll tell you guys with my husband's account. I'll explain it better. And then you have what's called the piggy bank, carryover. So again, whatever you don't cycle, and let's say you lose Emerald rank, you at least keep your volume. Your volume does not get thrown away. So do you understand? One leg, which is the leg that's being built with you and your upline, that leg is constantly building volume. I encourage you guys tonight, go to your back office, go to volume, and look at one of those legs. And I bet you one of those legs have a bunch of numbers. Hands down, one of those legs have numbers. Guess what? All of those numbers is money, and you're throwing it away. I did the math one time with one of my girls, and she had thrown away, and she was like not doing anything in the business at all. But in her defense, she was a discount coach for like a year. Had no interest in business building. But then when we did the Emerald call and I did this and I explained this to her, she went back and looked at her volume and she had every week 200, 300, 400 volume accumulating garbage. All of it going in the garbage. Give me 1 second. Yes. I don't know what to take. Baby, here.
No, I do know what to take. It's the big
2 of those, and then that
one.
one's, you have to break it in half and give him to the 2.
Yeah.
And he gets 3 milliliters of the liquid.
3 milliliters.
Yes. Sorry. So that's that, right? You get you create a piggy bank. But guess what? If you're not an Emerald coach, all of that doesn't exist. Your bank is not open. Why would you not want to open up your bank right away? If you're really serious about business building, then you need to open up your bank, right? Because at the end of the day, there's no shame that we're in here to make money. We're in here to have financial freedom. There's nothing wrong with that. So start treating it like a real business. And then this is obviously, we all know what it takes to be an Emerald coach. 2 coaches. That's all it takes. This is where I talk about spouse placement. And this is where I explain the importance of spouse placement. So you have your organization. You guys can see my mouse, right? Your organization. The 2 bottom spots in your organization are your prime spots. Those are like the gold mines of your business, okay? Now, let's just say you're like, I don't know if I really am interested in business building. I'm going to just like dabble in this and just, slowly build and see what happens. And you do this, you start building, right? And you start building and you realize, holy crap, here I got a Kristen. And Kristen starts building like a rock star. And then, oh my God, here is a Bianca. And Bianca's a freaking rock star. And then you go, oh man, this is a cool business. Let me put my husband. Guess what? Everything that happens here, so everything Bianca does will never touch your husband. Your husband will never get the volume from it. Does that make sense? Whereas here, if you put your husband right away, even if he goes inactive, even if he goes, you just keep that spot, and then he like you let him go inactive, but you just pay the fee to keep that spot. You're buying like real estate, like a prime real estate spot, and then with time, you business build, and then you go, holy crap, this is an amazing business. Let me activate my husband and let him start collecting some of that volume. Let me make him Emerald so all that volume stays with him and me. Can I tell you guys, for a year, I did absolutely nothing with my business, but I did become an Emerald right away because I listened to my sister. I became an Emerald and I never dropped as active. When I decided to work this business and I turned around and I looked at my volume, you guys ready to hear how much volume I had accumulated in a year? I had accumulated over 90,000 team volume So let's do the math really, really quickly. 90,000 on a strong leg. Divide that into 200 times 18. That is over $8,000 sitting there waiting for me. Just because of the spot. Just because I became an emerald, and just because I became, I was active all year long, and just because I became an emerald. I had 8,000 on that leg waiting for me to cash out. Like, why wouldn't you? Like, this is a business, right? We're claiming that this is going to be our business. Why wouldn't you do this for your business? So, and I understand financial situations, right? So that's where I say, put your spouse, hold the spot as a prime, or, you know, as a prime. Then if you cannot keep that active, which I don't understand, like, not for anything for me, I buy Shakeology through my husband, through me. And then through my husband, I buy my Energize and my Recover. Like, hello, I'm product of the product, so I'm buying more than one thing in this business, right? Like, I'm trying to show everybody all the things that are great about this business. So I just keep my husband active like that. And so I had have my husband. Can I tell you guys, my husband in volume, he covers every single product that I get alone in that account. Like, his account alone covers all of my Shakeology, all of my beach bars. It covers, bye baby, I love you. It covers, oh, that was a wet one. It covers my beach bars. It covers my performance stack. It covers everything. Can you guys like imagine the amount that's coming just alone in my husband's account? And his account is just an emerald. I built it to an emerald. I did at one point build it to a diamond, but it fell apart. But as of right now, it's an emerald. And I cycle through there every single week. So had I not put him in that prime spot, I wouldn't have seen that amount of income. So I kind of painted this picture to give everybody an idea as to what you may lose, what the possibility is. And I mean, so this is my visual, and I hope it gives you a clear idea. So that was it.
That's super helpful, just having that. And I know that when we start talking volume, I can already see it in Kristen's eyes, because when you start talking volume, we kind of lose her a little bit. That's how it was in the beginning. So I know that, a lot of coaches, when they first start hearing about this weak leg and strong leg, and it's like, it's confusing. And I know it took me years to understand this. So I don't fret if you guys hear this and it sounds like she's talking Greek. Just follow her advice into the point where put a spouse there in that leg and build it. Like, I literally, my first two coaches were Shane and Roxy, who's my best friend. I didn't give them options. I just said, I'm signing you guys up because I need to be emerald. I knew I needed to be emerald. And those were the people that I knew weren't going to question me. They knew that I wasn't going to scam them or anything like that. And I did exactly what Vera's saying, because in the beginning, I didn't want to be spending more money in this business than I was making. And so I bought my Shakeology through me, and I put whatever orders that were not challenge packs, I put those through Shane. And I would explain to people, you see my husband's name there, but I am your coach. And I would do that. And then my first diamond coach, who was it? Shane. I became 1-star by building Shane's account to diamond. So that was, and then right away, who became diamond 2? My best friend. And so I was 2-star, and that gave me those are the two people I could control. I could actually look at their accounts, and if I needed to put a customer through, I could do that. I built that myself. I did, and I work with Josh Coates. He's my business push coach. And he says that. He's like, you can complain about this business all day long, but there is no reason why anybody cannot be a 2-star and a self-made 2-star, because you have two people that you can put underneath you that will become your emeralds, that you will build to them to emerald, and then to diamonds. And at that point, you become a 2-star. Once you're a 2-star and you open up that second CBC, that is when I saw the business grow. That's when I saw my income start to come in. Like, your goal shouldn't be diamond. Your goal is 2-star. 2-star. But what is 2-star if not nothing but emerald repeated over and over and over and over again? That's why I say emerald is the most important rank. Because once you master that and you figure that out, you're just going to keep repeating it. Don't make it more than it has to be. I think a diamond becomes this big thing, but it's not. If you've signed 2 coaches at any point in your business, you know how to do diamond because you know how to do emerald. And all you have to do is keep repeating that and teaching people how you're doing it. It really is that simple. It's offering people the discounts, right? Vera, what are your strategies? Like, what do you tell your coaches? Like, how do you inspire them? And what kind of tips do you give them for becoming emerald other than?
So I tell them now's the time to target your warm market. You have everybody has a spouse, and if you don't, you have a mother or father or a brother or a sister. I mean, you know, you can. There's ways to find somebody. And again, even if it's an account that you're going to control, you're not throwing your money away. Eventually, that having that prime spot in your organization and you having control over it. So I don't get income just from my account. I have income coming in through my husband's account, which is my income, you know, essentially. So you have the opportunity of having control over another account. And in our world, and I showed you guys with the graph to understand, to give you an idea, volume rises up. So anything in between. So if you decide to wait to not give your spouse, or you have control over the two underneath you, essentially in the long run, you could possibly lose a lot. Like, and it just takes one rock star coach, like one rock star coach that can make or break a big difference in your bank and in your income. And if that coach is in between you and your husband, you're going to kick yourself in the butt for it. I promise you. I promise you, you're going to be like super upset, or an account you can't control. So I highly recommend, if you can control 2 accounts, by all means, you know, and again, you don't have to keep them active. If you don't have the financial means, you can make them inactive, but don't stop paying the fee to lose the spots. Because when the time comes, and if you're really serious about business building, when the time comes, it's a smart business move. That's it. It's just a smart business move. It's the way to jump and boost your income. That's it. So if you can control both, great. I unfortunately can only control at the time 1, and I still don't have, you know, controlling the other side. I don't have that prime spot. Actually, one of my discount coaches does, and she was one of the ones that came back to me, and she's like, "Holy crap! Like, I have 200, 300, 400 a week of this volume points that you're talking about." And I'm like, "Well, let's look at that in a year. What's 400?" And I told her, I was like, "This is to give you an idea. What's 400 points times 52? That's 20,000 points. Divide that into 200 times, that's, over $2,000 that that's just bye-bye, 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 where you can lock in that volume just by hitting Emerald. Just by hitting Emerald and never going inactive, you can lock in that volume. Why not? Why wouldn't you? Like, it's just a smart business move. So yeah, you definitely find a way. Find a way. There is a way. If you really want it, you'll find it. And so call mommy, call auntie, call brother, call sister, get your husband on board, take control over his account, whatever you got to do.
We have those Hail Marys. We have those people that are going to come and rescue us.
Absolutely. We
all do. I've been struggling with my health issues, and I threw a Hail Mary today, and I called a friend and I said, "Hey, can you order a challenge pack under me? Because I need my points." And I got her to, she's like, "All right, sure, yeah, whatever. Sure. What do you want me to do?" Like, we all have those people that you can ask, like you can go to and say, "Okay, I need your help. I'm building a business and I need your help. Can I count on you?" We have those people, and you know who they are. Maybe your dad, like my dad is one of my coaches. When I needed to go my second CBC to go diamond, I made my dad a coach. And I said, "Dad, you're going to be a coach now." And he started earning Success Club points every month. And then he ended up going to Punta Cana with me last year. And because he earned the trip, he was like, "How did I earn this trip?" I was like, "Don't ask, just go and enjoy." He had some points. He was so happy about it. You asked to tell me. And then today he was here, and I canceled his coach account early this year because I wanted to switch legs that he's on. And he's like, "Hey, why did my Shakeology stop coming?" Because I was literally paying for his Shakeology. He was mad at me. He's like, "I need my Shakeology back." And I was like, "Okay, we need to re-sign you up." But do you see, like, we all have those people. And it's a favor. Yes, you're asking them for something, but they're getting something. Like, my dad was getting his Shakeology. My dad got off blood pressure medication for drinking his Shakeology. So it's a favor for you, yeah, but you're at the same time, you're not scamming them. You're giving them an opportunity to get healthy. You know what I mean? So you have to really think about what you're offering them. You're not doing. I think sometimes we are reluctant to ask people to do this because we think, oh, you're doing it for me. Well, yeah, they're doing it for you, but think of what it could translate for them, right? Because it could. All right, guys. So we went over our time's already 10:03, but that was amazing. Does anybody have any quick questions for Veronica? If you guys have a question, you can either type it up or don't be scared. Just unmute yourself and talk. If you have any questions, like any specific questions about how she runs her business. She's amazing. I gave you a shout out to see, I posted you on my Transformation Tuesday.
Was it on Tuesday? Girl, that was the time that we got my
No, I just posted it today.
Oh, today. Just kidding. I was like,
I just gave you a shout out.
Oh, I gotta look. I'm sorry. I haven't looked. I've been all over the map.
I know.
I can see, like, dealing with, like, medication and all this stuff, but
I hear you.
But again, oh my God, guys, like seriously, like just look at what's going on with me, and the fact that because of this opportunity, because I took all these steps, because I listened to my sister, became an emerald, became all these things, did all these things, like I am officially like retired in 7 days?
I'm so excited for you because I know this was a really like long road for you to get here. Like it doesn't feel like a long road to me, but I'm sure for you it was because you've been wanting to do this for such a long time.
Yeah.
I'm excited for you.
Thank
That was
you.
a big thing for me too. Like taking that leap of faith and leaving nursing and it was the best decision. I just warn you not to fall into my trap because I feel like I was more productive when I had less time because I knew how to do.
That's something that I'm gonna have to work on big time. Yeah, I hear that a lot. I hear that that's probably like the biggest downfall for a lot of people. You feel like you have more time, yet you don't do anything with it. And so I'm going to have a lot of those hard talks with myself and probably snap myself back out of it, you know.
It's this. For me, it's been this. It's been, scheduling things, putting it down on paper. And I know that's scary, right?
Like, that's so neat and so organized. Like,
it's to make sure I have balance in my life.
You guys want to see what looks like mine? Like, this is mine. Like, like red paper. And I got one over here. And, you can't be organized with me. Bianca.
I'm more like Vero. I'm more like you.
I have the same book, but I have stickers. Look.
No, if it's color coordinated with stickers, you're insane. Like, this is my list of people that I have to talk to. Like, you see, like this is what I.
That's one day you gotta show us.
I am not one to come to you and tell you like structure and all that. Like, I am the biggest hot mess. But look, you can still do it. Like, I'm still doing the damn thing, so it's not an excuse, you know. But I will, Bianca, absolutely. I'm going to have to come to you and figure out how to structure my life a little bit.
That was me for a good 2 years, thinking that I was doing all the things and I was doing jack.
Right.
Literally that, like, I can honestly tell you 100% now, finally this year, I got that under control. I set business hours and I stuck with it and I work from a list and I get stuff done, and it's been a game changer for me. And just in my peace of mind, because I found like I was always mad at Shane when he came home from work because I hadn't done my invites yet and he was already home and I'm like, I still got to do this, and I wasn't being present for my family. And that was
I feel like that was this has been my last year. My last year working, since I know this was going to be my last year working, I have been coming home from work, working out, and then coming straight upstairs and working Beachbody. And I noticed I've been a little bit not present with my kids and with my family. And I think that everything that happened to my son was kind of like an eye-opener that I needed to be more present. And so that's something I'm working on. So you guys, like, we're all figuring this out. Like, we're like, it's okay, and I know, like, I kind of feel like I dropped the ball when it came to like being present for my family, but I at least realize it, and now I'm gonna work towards that. And so, like, we live and learn, and you gotta be okay with that. You gotta be okay. You're gonna make mistakes. You're gonna stumble. Something's gonna work for a little while and then all of a sudden not work at all, and it's just the way it is. And you have the business keeps evolving and changing. And I've only been doing this for 3 years, and I've noticed a huge difference from when I started coaching to like now and how the business has evolved. I can't imagine like back in the days when they didn't even have challenge packs. It was like, how do you even, and so you got to be okay with evolving and changing, because at the end of the day, that's where you are. That's why you're here. You're here because you want change. You're here because you want something different in your life. So what are you doing? Yeah. Like, what are you doing about that? And so, and be okay that you're going to make mistakes. Cause I know I can't even count the amount of mistakes I've made, but it's okay.
I'm with you. I make them every day. I'm still making them.
Yeah.
All right, let's take a boomerang. Cause it didn't happen if we don't record it. So we're going to do a boomerang. So you guys do something fun. I don't know. It's kind of dark here. So if anybody else wants to get it too, just in case. But yeah, what can we do?
I don't know, boomerang.
Yeah.
You're so funny. Look at Kristen throwing out like.
Yeah, I like that. All right, ready? Boomerang.
It's my check your cervix fingers. Hey!
Oh
my God. Oh my God, I moved. Wait. Do it again. Wait. All right, go. All right, I got it.
So you're a labor nurse? Like I think in my second life, that's what I should have done.
Oh yeah, she is. She births baby.
I would love to see that. Ugh, I'm dying to see a birth.
Oh, why?
Cause I don't know, I'm weird like that. I like that.
She'll FaceTime you. Don't ask her. She will put.
Like if I flew over there, would you let me be in the room with you guys?
The girl that I'm working for right now is 6 centimeters, and she was supposed to be charged tonight. So I'm here in case she comes in as a patient.
Yeah, but okay, but listen, if I were to go over there and I were to put on those scrubbies like you.
Did you see this girl? She took pictures of Carter coming out of me. I can share with you right now.
When I was giving birth to my daughter, I wanted a mirror so bad, but
we have mirrors, but nobody ever wants them. See,
I wanted
one too. We're the only freak shows that want mirrors. Yeah.
I'm
That
dying.
is a negative. I do not want that.
And that nurse over there is related, or kind of related to Melissa, our newest coach on the call. If that just shows you networking, and that's crazy because they're like opposite ends of Virginia. See? Small world.
I gave birth to Wyatt in Italy. I had to give birth to him on all fours. Do you guys ever do that?
You had to give birth on all fours?
Yeah. Well, that's how they made me do it.
Women like to do it. That's
awesome.
Yaya's
So
favorite position.
Really?
She hates it.
I think if I
it's
were to get pregnant,
horrible.
but I'm not going to, but if I were, I think I would go for a home birth in the water.
Yeah, we do. We have.
I almost had Valentina in the water. If
She did. I had to tell her to go to the hospital.
Tell me to go to the hospital. When I got there, I was 8 centimeters already.
8 centimeters. She's just chilling in the bathtub trying to have a water birth.
She would
So
have
we
been
don't do
totally born in me.
That's so me.
We
I
don't
would
do
totally
those.
Well, I had a VBAC, so that's why I went to the hospital. If not, I
Okay.
would have had a home birth. But since mine was a VBAC, I was like, okay, I'm a high risk, whatever they wanted to like scare you at the time.
Yeah, she doesn't like VBACs.
So let me tell you guys too. I want to end something real quick with you as well. If we always say, like, I think